Kyle Hunter here for Kyle Hunter Sports Picks. HunterSportsPicks.com is the website. Going to do a brief little video here. It's been a little while, so I want to get back on here and talk a little college basketball. If you have anything you want to say, feel free to jump in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of go through a few games here real quick, give you guys a little bit of insight into the process that I use when I'm looking at my games day to day. And I'll give you a team total bet that I bet small here today. Definitely a interesting slate. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'll be switching this around a little bit here throughout. Definitely want to make this pretty quick. And we'll see if we can help you guys out some. It's definitely always the goal here. Michael, shout out Michael, man. You're the man. Hope you're having a good day. Thanks for tuning in here. We'll try to do these once in a while. All right. Let's go look at today's board here really quick. So we've got quite a bit of line movement. The lines don't move as much this time of the year as they do earlier in the year, obviously in college hoops, but still plenty of line movement. A few of the games that kind of stood out to me on interesting line moves. I thought App State and Coastal Carolina here was going to move up more. I was at least somewhat considering an under. I was hoping to get like a 129.5, 130. This one went up to 128, 128.5, and then went back down. So I ended up passing on that one. I did post several of my numbers too online. So that is one where you can check out some of my numbers. I'm going to be posting some more of those coming up. So stay tuned on that. But we're going to try to do more with that. Thank you, Whitley. I appreciate that very much. Don, thank you, man. You're the man. Corey, let me touch on that game here in just a minute. All right, so I considered App State under, didn't quite get there. Tennessee Tech and Little Rock. I think Little Rock's due for some regression to the mean. Did consider Tennessee Tech plus the points there in that one. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at this Omaha and South Dakota State game that Corey was asking about. I posted my number for this one on X, Twitter, so you can see that one. But let me show you my thoughts on this game. I do like the over here in this one. You can see my free play on the over at Big Al's site. And Nebraska, Omaha, let's go to this tab here so we can see just some quick thoughts. Omaha's really shot the ball well from three in the conference, 42.8%. The interesting thing about this is South Dakota State is the best defense. You say best defense in the Summit League. Basically, all Summit League defenses are bad. I really don't like unders in general unless it's a UMKC, Kansas City game. These teams play quick, up and down like crazy. The first time they played, there were 100 points in the second half here between Omaha and South Dakota State. South Dakota State has been the favored team in this conference. They've won the conference many times here in the past. I think this one is a decent overplay again. It has moved up. To be fair, I liked it better when it was 152 because, my number is still above this now slightly, but it's 155. And now we're looking at a total of, instead of 152, we're looking at like 154, 154.5. Let's get a quick look at exactly how this one breaks down. I like the Haslametrics. Shout out to Haslametrics. Really good side-by-side. If you don't use it, I do recommend doing that. You can look at this like in possession Omaha and possession South Dakota State. Just kind of a quick, pace-wise, what does each team do? How do they play on the road and at home? Where do they usually shoot from? This is proximity of their shot. Omaha, we see they've been really good from three. South Dakota State's been great from mid-range. Mid-range shots can be kind of low percentage for some teams, but some teams can be efficient from there as well. I think in this one, South Dakota State, deserving favorite. I think they'll push the pace quite well. To me, over or nothing here in this game. I like the fact that both teams can put up points in bunches. I think this is one of those games where if you get 50 points in the last 8 or 9 minutes, it wouldn't be shocking. Both of these teams shoot the ball well. They can shoot the ball well from three. They can both get to the line and knock down free throws. Over is what I would bet here in this game, even with the line move. Obviously, I liked it better before it did move up. Ronald, thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate that. Okay, let's look here. I'm going to look at another Summit League. I was not really intentional, but let's look at another Summit League game where I actually took a team total under, and it kind of terrifies me that I did, but I did take this one, and not a big bet for me, but I just decided that I liked it enough based on how this game sets up. Kansas City, the Kangaroos. I love that, Kangaroos. I love the mascots. They're very rare. Kangaroos here against the Coyotes. We've got Kansas City, the one team in the Summit League that really wants to slow it down, make it ugly, lower scoring. You got all these other teams that are just really high pace, ridiculous fast, great offenses, bad defenses. Then you got UMKC, who's really not very good at offense. They're pretty good at defense. If you look, I'll share this tab here. The first time these two played, really interesting game in that it was 68-54. But let's look at South Dakota's other games. We've got, the game before that, 179 points, 175 points, 223 points total, 174, 180, 195, 161. You get the theme here. One of these stands out like a sore thumb. Kansas City, 68-54. So I hate betting South Dakota unders because I know what South Dakota is. They get to the line. They play really quick, first in tempo in the country. But I took Kansas City under here on a team total of 77.5. They have not been shooting the ball away from home well at all. 58 points on the road, 64, 72, 68, 67. Now they go on the road. We get a really high team total because South Dakota does have a bad defense. I think that Kansas City will do their best to slow this game down. I hate to bet the full game under because South Dakota is so high scoring. Like I said, this is not a big bet for me, but I did bet the team total under here on the Kansas City Roos under 77.5. I'll hate myself if this one loses because I know how South Dakota games can go, certainly. But we've seen now multiple times Kansas City slow down South Dakota when nobody else can. And if you look at the page here on KenPom, no one has gotten Kansas City to play quicker than 67 possessions since the beginning of December. So I'm counting on them to slow it down here, and I think their offense is just not good enough. I'll take that team total under 77.5 there for that one. A couple others here real quick. If you guys have a game that you want me to hit before I jump off here, let me know. I'll try to do some of these gradually as we go. I mean, gosh, guys, it's 5 weeks till March Madness gets going, NCAA tournament. I love the NCAA tournament. It's absolutely the best. So we'll be doing a little bit more here coming up. Also, check out the spaces. Myself and Kiev from the Odds Breakers are going to be kicking up the spaces again live 10:30 Eastern tonight here, February 13th. We'll talk about some Friday games and also take an early look at the Saturday games. So check out those coming up. And let's see. Let's get into what's another game here that would be interesting. I did consider Cal Poly and Fullerton over. My numbers like this a little bit at the open last night. Let's bring up some shot quality stats here. It'd be nice to show some of these. Love the shot quality bets stats. They do a great job, these guys. Here's Cal Poly. We'll take a look at what they like to do. They get out in transition a lot more than most teams. Shot selection, 172nd. Defensive, 201st. Shot selection allowed. If you look at the other side, Fullerton's getting good shots, giving up really, really good shots for the opposition. So they do look like a good over team. The thing about Fullerton that made me a little bit hesitant here is Fullerton's really reliant on getting to the free throw line. They really don't shoot the ball well. They have a couple guys sitting out here lately. They're not fully healthy. Fullerton's 11th in free throw attempts divided by field goal attempts. You got a Poly team that really doesn't foul very much compared to most of the Big West. So I was a little bit worried about that one. Let's see. Nice, some questions here. Corey wants to know about the Vermont, New Hampshire total. Okay. I did consider the under here, and I definitely lean that way, Corey. I might even bet this one live if it gets going quick. I'll have to try to keep an eye on this one because I've got basketball practice for my son, 5th grade boys basketball. So that'll be interesting. I'll pull up the live scores a little bit during practice just to see. I hope this one kind of starts fast because, 130 is pretty low. Like you said, it was ultra low last time. Vermont has had some higher games lately. This Vermont team is not as good as some of the Vermont teams from the past. Let's pull up Vermont here real quick for tonight. Let's see. All right, Vermont, the Catamounts. This is with them in possession here on the right. Kind of their biggest edges are mid-range and then quick steals and scores in transition. New Hampshire really poor at taking care of the basketball. The other side, New Hampshire has no real edge here. This is just a really bad offense. They don't get second chances. If you look at shooting proximity, they are taking a ton of threes. Kind of surprising you take that many threes when you shoot 32% from three-point range. So I don't see any great way that New Hampshire scores much here. I would look for a live under if you can get a better number. Certainly don't hate taking just an under from the beginning of the game either, though. So definitely one that I lean toward. Let me see what my number is here for this one. Vermont on 28. So you can get a 130.5. Definitely lean to the under there in that one. All right, Michael, any side opinion on the Maryland game? Kind of the bigger game of the night, right? Maryland, Nebraska. Nebraska, some pretty drastic splits. I mean, if you look at Nebraska, what they've usually been. Let's see. Pull this one up on here. Sorry, we're not terribly high tech here. Just trying to get some thoughts out there. Here we go. Maryland, Nebraska. Maryland consistency worries me a little bit. 346th. You never know what you're going to get from them. They're definitely the higher upside team of the two. Nebraska, 195th in home court advantage. They've played much better at home. Maryland, 353rd in away from home performance. So what am I going to get from Maryland? I mean, to be honest with you, Michael, this is not one that I even considered as far as a bet. Let me see what the current line is on this one. Nebraska -1.5, which is pretty interesting because most of the projections have Maryland winning, but this is compensating for the fact that Maryland has not really shown well on the road. We've seen Maryland go on the road and blow a big lead against Ohio State. They lost to Northwestern on the road in overtime. They haven't quite finished the deal. I think Maryland's better than Nebraska, but Nebraska's home court is very good. Just honestly nothing there that I'm terribly interested in. All right, Whitley, UC Irvine. Yeah, I kind of like Irvine here. I would lay the points here with Irvine, if anything. If you look at the way that Irvine just lost their last game, I think this team is well enough coached by Russell Turner that this is the type of team that I would expect to bounce back from something like that. Let's take a look at their profile here on Ken Palm. Irvine, 15th in defensive efficiency. They just gave up 85 points to UC San Diego. UC San Diego just absolutely torched the Nets in the second half. 16 made threes. Most of them were in the second half of that game. I would think that UC Irvine would bounce back defensively here. If you look at UC Santa Barbara, they've won 3 in a row. They've been shooting absolute lights out from 3. I mean, 12 for 18 from 3. These are ridiculously hot shooting performances. 10 made threes out of 26. The game before that, I'm pretty sure they were really hot too. 12 for 21. So they've made more than half their threes in the last 3 games. I think UC Santa Barbara probably due for some regression. If anything there, I would lay the points there with Irvine in that one. J Flight, Northeastern -4.5. We'll wrap with this one here. Northeastern, I don't trust Campbell, and let's look at shot quality real quick on this one, because I think Campbell has been a little bit misleading here of late. The Fighting Camels, that's fantastic. Campbell. So Campbell offensively, not very good. I mean, take quite a few threes. They're not all that efficient from 3. Defensively, really struggle guarding the pick and roll ball screens. Their 3-point defense is not very good. I mean, what would make me really want to bet Campbell? On the other side, the line has moved 2 points toward Northeastern. Northeastern coming off a pretty surprising loss to Hampton. They should have won that according to Shot Quality's expected result. So you could probably say that this is a little bit of a buy low spot for them. I think in general, the line move is probably about right. I did not have anything that was a possible bet in this one for myself. My total here was 140.5. We're sitting at 140 or 140.5 in the market. So we're right on where I thought this one should be. Nothing here. I just don't see anything. So let's go back real quick. I'll just say again, I had the UMKC team total under. Personally, I kind of like UC Irvine here minus the points. I would look toward a Vermont under, especially if you can get a live number that's better. Others that were at least on my lean list for tonight. I looked at the Fullerton over, like I said. If that one starts slow, might live bet that one over. I also looked at the Idaho State and Montana over 145.5 in that one. The Big Sky, a good over conference, would definitely at least consider that one as well. All right, we've gone on about 20 minutes. I'm going to try to do some more of these. I'll have some guests on here too, so we can chat about some of these games, but hope this has been helpful. If so, hit the thumbs up button. I certainly appreciate it. Helps me out. Subscribe to the channel as well. The more people I see subscribe, the more I'll be motivated to do these more often. But thank you for jumping in here. Corey, Ronald, Don, Michael, Whitley, J Flight. Appreciate you guys jumping in here while I'm doing this. And hit that thumbs up button on your way out. You can drop any comments below. Like I said, my stuff is over at huntersportspicks.com. You can check out my stuff there through the end of the year. Lowered the prices. If you don't want to pay, you don't have to. I'm certainly not a hard salesman or anything like this. So we'll try to get out winning information any way we can. And I hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you again sometime soon. Thanks.